Welcome back to the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door,
And me, Than.
bringing you your, first of the year weekly double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. Happy New Year, old man Than. It's been a little
Happy
while.
New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, bro. And, and weekly, I think weekly at this point needs to be said with some sort of, inflection like weekly?
Yeah, you can
Maybe?
hear my quotation marks, right? um,
Well, it's the holiday period. Everybody's got stuff going on. It makes the scheduling a lot more tricky than usual. So,
Yeah.
quite honestly, people could do without us for a few weeks. It's fine.
Yeah,
It'll
although
just make
I've only got one message on Facebook from somebody being like, "Yo, where the fuck is my podcast for the week, man? It's been weeks." So shout out Matt. Like, here's your first of the year of hopefully many that we do.
maybe
Maybe.
think about it.
Now, obviously, we're down a DK this week. He wanted to be here, but has to deal with some other stuff. So we were like, in true fashion, we abandoned him at the drop of a hat, and we're gonna do it just with the two of us. But we do actually have a special guest, which we'll get to him in a moment. But before we do that, we'll take care of some housekeeping. Hey, Than, I seem to remember that there's some sort of international tournament coming up. Could you enlighten us?
I would hope that you remember giving us at your site. I mean, that's definitely one of those things.
That's right.
Yeah, but yes, we've got the 2020 Laser Force Internationals to be held in Auckland, New Zealand, from July 20th to 24th.
We're all
be a
about
good
the
time.
we're all about the 20s this year, because in 2020 on the 20th of July, it happens to be Auckland's 20th anniversary this year, so it's 20s all around. I also understand that ECT is coming up at the end of February or mid-February.
It's actually more towards the beginning of February.
Oh, true.
Mid-February. It's one of those date time things, and I should really know what days it is because I am going, which is odd. But that's going to be February 10th through 12th.
Right.
And that's in Syracuse, New York. And that one's going to be kind of a fun, interesting tournament because it's a salary cap tourney.
Wow.
So a couple of the people in Syracuse made some levels, and cap for level values for all the teams is 38.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to build your team within that, and then to just put the icing on the cake with that, we're also doing it as a random draw tournament.
Awesome.
So every game, your positions will be determined by the cup of destiny and sadness. And it's just going to be it's going to be interesting, having looked at some of the rosters, and you kind of look up and down, and I mean the whole point of doing a salary cap type tournament is you kind of balance out the teams a little bit.
Yeah.
You kind of force a little bit of interestingness into your team selection.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely some matchups that you kind of look at and go, well, if the positional draws are this way, that's going to be a really good game.
Did they
If the positional draws are not, that game is going to be a shit stomp.
Did they have captains like draft their teams, or was it like randomly generated?
It was basically randomly generated.
Right.
It it wasn't like we did it in Detroit a couple of years ago, where we basically tiered out the top 6 players, because that was 6-team tournament. We tiered out the top 6 as captains so that there was no possible overlap there, and then we had a middle tier that each team got 3 players drawn out of a hat from, and then a bottom tier that each team got 2 players drawn out of a hat from. This was the, hey, we'll build levels, we'll let people do their own thing within confines, as opposed to leaving it completely up to chance. So
right.
It should be fun. I mean, it's definitely going to be or in theory, this should be a nice, low pressure, fun tournament.
In theory,
we will see whether or not the reality matches up to the theory that we're running with. I think it's going to be a good time. I'm definitely going up with the mindset of, it's going to be fun to see, some people I haven't seen for a while, and get some games and play some lasers, and hopefully the weather won't suck the fattest of dicks.
Well, look, for our resident stats guru, Russ, if you could work out a way to turn this tournament into a, like, to put a fantasy Laser Force type game together for all those not attending, that would be awesome. If someone could figure out a way to do that, that would be amazing.
Sure, let's just give Russ more to do. Sure, that
well,
seems like a good plan.
Like, I understand that anytime you mention the stats word, he he gets that face on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But enough of that. We'll come back to that. I would really love to get, like, because from my understanding, you're going. Is DK's not going, is he?
DK is not going. The timing didn't. The timing didn't work well for him by basically like 2 or 3 days. He's got school that he has to be teaching, and it just didn't work out.
If we can, we'll try and do some sort of on location kind of. We'll do a recap at least. But if we can milk that tournament for a couple of podcasts, then we will.
Oh, sure. So basically, you're adding to my workload. Thanks.
That's how I roll. The Podmaster G&D likes to make everyone else do his work for him.
Obviously.
Yeah,
fucker.
I'm just the average face of everything. But we'll tackle that at a later date. Today we've got a guest with us. He's played Laser Force for a number of years, was sort of on hiatus for a little while, and he was he was originally hailing from Auckland, but has since moved across the ditch to Sydney. But yeah, hopefully he'll make an appearance this year at Nationals. We'll see what happens. But I want to welcome to the podcast this week our man Leech. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, guys?
Well, same old. We're talking Laser Force.
Same old. Talking laser tags.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we do, right? Is eat shit, talk Laser Force, repeat.
Oh,
it's not all we do, but it's pretty up there.
So you, thanks for coming on, man. Now
I'm happy to be here.
We got a bunch of stuff to get to because you recently went to a tournament where there wasn't a lot of Australasian presence.
No, I did go.
Yeah, there was a tournament recently held in the UK, which we'll get to in a minute. But we like to get to know our guests a little bit. We like to sit down and really delve deep and find out the person that is Leech. So how long you played for, man?
I think I started playing when my brother used to go, and I think that was probably was it like the Nationals was 2008, so I was probably like 2007 or 2006 maybe.
So which Nat's the one that we hosted?
Well, so
so I think Ballarat.
Oh yeah.
I think when you guys went to Ballarat, I would have probably been playing for like a year or maybe a bit over a year.
Yeah,
at
and
that
so
point.
who? Just for the people that don't know, who's your brother?
So my brother's 2K King. He's been to more tournaments than I have, but I'm sure a lot of people would have come across him. But yeah, that's my brother.
He's a pretty quiet dude. You probably find him, on his phone, hanging out at the back of the room somewhere.
Yeah, that's usually him. He likes his old cell phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started playing in 2000. Yeah, probably like 2007, 2008, and then I basically just started going because my brother was going.
Yeah.
And I think he went because he knew Gino, and
That's
he
right.
was obviously Trips' brother.
That's,
So it was kind of like a brother brought a brother brought a brother brought a brother.
Those are some blast from the past names that have definitely not been spoken
Well, we've still
of
got
or mentioned
there's
in
still
quite some time.
arena. There's still part of the arena in Auckland which is still named Trips' Hole. So
Yeah. Well,
you
they
might
actually
get to hear it again.
they covered that part of the arena up. Actually, they put a big wall there. So Trips' Hole
Oh, no.
isn't physically with us anymore, but it's definitely with
Sad-
us in spirit.
Sad times, man. That's
Yeah,
sad
yeah.
times.
No more Trips' Hole.
No more Trips' Hole.
But yeah, okay. So you've been playing a while now, but you've sort of since moved and sort of struggling to find a home, right?
Yeah, so I played. Well, I was supposed to go to Ballarat, but the reason I and play on the Auckland B team, but I couldn't afford to go because I was still at school and not working. So I never got to play on that tournament. And then I think it was I think the following year there wasn't anything. Like when I was working and I think Sam was still there, like Virus, if everyone doesn't know who Sam is.
Is this 2009?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
We went to a Brisbane tournament and got our asses handed to us.
I don't know why I didn't play that or didn't even consider playing that.
Yeah.
I think at that point I was probably partying at university and just didn't care.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's probably what I was up to because I think in 2009 I think all I did was play Call of Duty and drink, basically for a whole year.
Yeah, and get paid
Well, that's-
student allowance to do it.
Yeah.
That's one way to do
Good
it, I guess.
times. Good times.
That was the year.
but
That was the
then-
tournament that Virus got swine flu and King rolled his ankle like before the tournament. That's a terrible year.
No, wait, because you went to Ballarat and then Mildura, didn't you? Didn't you play in Mildura?
Nah. Mildura came
No,
down to
was
Brisbane.
Was
but
it? Oh, actually, yes, I do remember this now. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was Brisbane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember my brother going, and I was like, "No, fuck that." Yeah, so I ended up missing that one as well, and then I think it was like either the 2010 or 2011. I can't remember what. I think it was maybe 2011. I moved to Sydney. And I think Virus left and I left, and then I kind of stopped playing laser tag for maybe I don't know, like 6-7 years, and
Wow.
then I kind of went back to every time I'd go back to Auckland, I'd come down and play.
Yeah.
I'd try and make sure that I get like one or two nights of laser tag in every time I come across the ditch.
Yeah.
Because like I've looked for a laser tag here. I've literally I think there's something like 25 different laser tags, all with Laser Force equipment, but
Yeah.
none have members nights. Apart from recently, one guy started up a members night in Menai, but they sort of play the don't show a shoulder rule.
Right.
So it's kind of more Megazone-y, and
Yeah.
they've got like they play a Megazone style thing. But I looked on the boards the other day, and it looked like they were playing Space Marines 5, so
Wow.
I might have to make a reappearance. Because I think some of those guys a lot of them are quite new, and I think one of them played in the Perth tournament. But like they wouldn't have played much Space 5, but it'd be cool to actually go down there and teach them how to play and stuff.
Yeah. It
And
being
get some form of Space Marines in.
being mostly like, because I think most of those sites are zone conversion sites anyway, right? So like that's
Well, this one was always a Laser Force. So
Really?
Yeah, but I think the owner, or like, so the guy who's running it, he basically works there,
Yeah.
and I think because he went to that Perth tournament, he went to the Perth,
Oh, yeah, the Aussie
tour-
titles.
yeah, the Aussie titles things, which is obviously a Mega Zone based thing.
Mm,
So when he was setting it up, he kind of went more that direction because
right.
that's just what he's used to, and obviously there's no Space Marines community here, so and it's as you guys know, it's very hard to get people to start showing a shoulder when you know when
It's
they're
not
not
really
used
there.
to it, or
Yeah.
it's not really already there. So it's really hard to set it up and start playing that way if people aren't used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, like, um, yeah, if your membership base starts with somebody, who's X zone, then it's likely that, yeah, everyone will kind of gravitate towards that style of play. Um, which,
It's just different. It's just like zone and force are always going to be different. They're just different systems. I think everyone likes the laser force equipment better, so they're just trying to adapt laser force equipment to zone gameplay.
yeah.
Which is it depends on what you're into. Like I always say, laser force is kind of like a force back where you're putting people down to take positions and you can move them off that position with resets. Whereas Megazone, people go down and then they kind of just hang out, and then
Yeah.
it's like they don't have to run away or anything. So that's why, to me, force is always going to be more fun because you require it's more fitness. You got to run around, you got to think,
Less
I got to
stagnant.
move here, got to move there, so it's less stagnant, so there's more going on. That's why I like it. But if people have played Megazone or that's their style, then they're quite reluctant to have to run as much as you have to do in force.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why you're either a force player or you're a zone player. But there's also the people out there that like playing any form of laser tag. It doesn't matter what form. So the people that I met in the UK, a lot of them are from Armageddon. So they play all the different types of laser tag.
Right.
So a lot of them are just laser tag enthusiasts. It doesn't matter what form of laser tag they're playing. They want to play all of the kinds.
Yeah, I suppose it's like a really good way to look at the game too. Like it means, I guess it means that you're not tethered to one system. Like I know that I kind of am.
They've all got their own benefits, and I guess if you're a laser tag enthusiast, then you'll play. Doesn't matter what you're playing.
Yeah.
But for me
It's
personally,
true.
I always like force just because of the way the gameplay is, and you'll know that I'm small and I'm fast and I run around a lot, so. My
Accurate.
play style doesn't. My play style doesn't lend well to people that stand behind walls and pop shot over them without showing a shoulder. That's just it's not. I can play that way. It's fine, but I just get bored, or I just think, well, I'm standing on my corner, you're standing on your corner, no one's really doing anything. This isn't much fun.
Yeah.
Um,
I suppose it
So,
it gives you a competitive advantage as well if you can use the rest of your physical gifts. That gives you an advantage over other people.
Yeah, I also say, like, the reason the show a shoulder rule is there is it's to promote attacking, because otherwise you end up having these stupid standoffs where no one does anything, and it's just boring. You want to progress the game. You want the game to move quickly. You can get a high turnaround, especially if everyone's going out there to try and eliminate the other team, and there's benefits to attacking, then people were more likely to attack. Otherwise, you end up having one team sitting on one side of the maze and the other team sitting on the other side of the maze, and no one's really doing anything.
You mentioned the tournament in the UK. So how did you come about, going to that? Because obviously the UK is a little way away.
Well, so I was already going. I was already heading that way anyway, because my wife is Scottish, so I was spending Christmas and New Year's in Glasgow, and then I saw a post on one of the forums that there was a tournament down in Huddersfield, of all places. It's kind of, I think it was like 4 hours on the train.
Wow.
That's not bad.
So I thought
you say not bad. I'm like, well, man, that's ages.
no, well,
Yeah, the operational differences between living in New Zealand and living in Texas. For me, 4 hours, not that bad.
yeah, well, I've got the similar sort of thing. It takes me, sometimes it can take an hour and a half to drive around Sydney, so you're kind of like 4 hours isn't actually that bad. So and then you kind of jump on the train, you sit down, you start watching a movie. Before you know it, you're already there. So so I saw that it was going on, so I sent a message to the guy saying, yeah, I'm keen to come, and I didn't really know until kind of the last day what I'd be doing, so I kind of booked the ticket, and then went down. I ended up catching the train, but it was late the first day because I get to the station at 7 a.m. or whatever, and then I think it was like the train was supposed to leave at 7:10, and they cancelled it at 7:05, and I'm like, what the hell? So I ended up having to catch another train somewhere else, then jump on another train, and it was like, instead of getting the train that almost goes directly there, I had to catch like 3 different trains, jump off. So I ended up being like an hour and a half late. Or maybe it was an hour. Maybe it was an hour and a half. I can't remember. But so my team had already been picked before I even got there.
Yeah.
Which, to their credit, they didn't know how good I was or how much I'd played or anything. So, I mean, it's fair to say that my team was very overstacked. And on the first day, so we basically, I think we won every game. There was only one game where we, just our positions. I think me and the other guy that's really, really good, we got put as medic and ammo, and then we got like our newer players were playing the 3 hits, and I think their most experienced players with the 3 hits.
Right.
And I think we got eliminated that game. But other than that, if you look at the stats, we basically smashed everyone.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the stats right now, and it's like, okay, it's like your first game you win by like 16K, and then you win by 8K. Oh, and then here's your 20K getting smashed because of your positions being terrible. But then, win by 27, win by 22, win by 21, win by 23.5, win by 12. Yeah, I think it's definitely fair to say that that there maybe should have been some questions asked of you as to like what your experience level actually was, so maybe they could have broken stuff up a little better.
Good one,
but,
you cheater.
that happens.
Well, it's not my fault. I literally turned up and put my bags down, and I was already playing. Like, so in the arena, their arena is a big long, skinny warehouse basically.
Right.
So it's maybe 10-15 meters wide, but it's very, very long. So halfway along, they've got a big sliding door that they can shut. So they can shut off half the maze. And so we were playing in the back half of the maze, and then they had a separate dongle and a separate system. So they're they can have 2 games running at the same time the back half of the maze. So so basically, we were all in the back half of the maze. And in the back half, they've got a second floor, and on that second floor is basically out of bounds, and then you kind of play on the bottom floor, and obviously your outside zone, or where you're getting, the spare team is basically sitting on the second floor while everyone's playing on the bottom floor. So it was actually a really, really good setup for a tournament. But
so you could watch.
Whisked and, yeah, so you can watch from the top towers as the other guys playing.
Oh, that's cool.
So like the towers like it overlooks the whole thing. So you can kind of see everyone from that position. So you can watch both ends. You can walk one end, walk the other end. So it's actually a really good, for a small tournament, that would work very, very well.
Yeah.
The only problem is if you end up having 6 teams and there's not enough space on the top tower for everyone. But yeah, so when I turned up, I got whisked. whisked all the way to the back through the first maze, and I kind of got lost on the way out because didn't even know how I got in there in the first place. And I put my bags down, changed my shoes, and I'm already playing. So I kind of didn't really get a chance to say hey to anyone or like introduce myself or anything like that.
Yeah.
But from the get go, I think they said it was like we drew the first one. I think I got ammo or something, and I said like they were wanting to play kind of like your ammo or your commander and your heavy kind of roams, and I was like, well that doesn't work. I said if I was playing commander, if your commander and your heavy's roaming, I said your resupply would be out of here in about 3 minutes. So I kind of told them, I said you should play like this. So we started playing like that. I don't know if the other teams started playing like that straight away, but they were definitely playing like that towards the end where the heavy was defending.
Yeah. So their main strategy, like all teams, was we'll just put the 3 hits.
Yeah.
Out.
So because they play a lot of Armageddon style stuff, like they obviously don't play just Space 5.
Right.
So I guess they're trying to apply what would you do? So they usually have your ammo and your medic hang out together.
Yeah. And
then your both 3 hits just go out and they kind of leave them to fend for themselves, I guess. But I said like if you were playing like that in our tournament, then you'd end up getting smashed.
Just absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, absolutely wrecked, because like if you leave your resupply so exposed, any good commander will just reset. Like you just could not send both 3 hits out like that if you're playing experienced players.
Yeah.
It's certainly not recommended.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't recommend it. But so the first day was like a proper tournament where it was everyone was random positions, random teams. I think that was for the first round, and then I think the second round was pick because a few players had got the same thing over and over again or something. I think there was one guy who'd never played Laser Force before, and he got Commander 3 games in a row, and their team was getting smashed because he's got no experience, or whatever. So I think in the second round it was kind of pick your teams in the second round. So right. I think I played a lot of Commander in the second round, but but again, our team was way overpowered compared to the others because it was me and their most experienced player.
Yeah.
On one team.
What was that code name?
Valrock, his name is.
Oh yeah.
So he's a guy that's played at that so he's played at Bradford and Huddersfield. So that's their laser zone, which they converted from another site or another system. So they're used to playing no show or shoulder type rule.
Yeah.
But obviously those skills like you can use those skills in Space Marines. It's just a different style of play. So the first day was it was fun, obviously, for me to play because I was, even on the first day I was still rusty.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't played in probably a year since I came and got Gen 8 in Auckland. Played for that would have been the last time I played.
So was that after, because you played Brisbane Nats in 2018, right?
Yeah, so we had Brisbane Nats in 2018, and then you guys got Gen 8 at the end of the year, and I came over to play for that.
Yeah. And
that would have been the last time that I'd played.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'd played I went and played at the place around the corner here, but it's not the same as playing Space 5.
Yeah, yeah. Right on.
Yeah, so so that was the first day, and then after that we played this kind of interesting game, which I thought would be kind of fun if everyone was showing a shoulder, and there was 2 rules that I would applied to the game, which would be everyone show a shoulder and don't speak if you're dead. Those were the 2, and the game was called the game was called Base Flags. So the whole idea is there's one base at one end, one base at the other end, and you have one life, and you have to push the opposing team back into their thing. So they die. When you die, you go back to your base to get resupplied with lives.
Right.
So if everyone was showing a shoulder and you weren't allowed to speak when you're dead, then I think that game would be a lot more fun. So it's kind of like force back. Because they've got this long, skinny arena, it kind of works really well because you push them back and then they push you back, and you got to run all the way back to your base to get another life. So
sounds like a game that you want to be in really good shape for.
Yes, so you have to run a lot. You have to run a lot, which it's actually really fun, but the problem was I think we were playing with too many people in the maze, and then obviously when there's the when everyone's not showing a shoulder, it's not as fun for me, because I'm attacking or I'm moving around corners or whatever, and you just see this gun just pop out and you go, oh, well,
cool.
Yeah, cool story. As much as they say you can shoot it, it's like if someone holds the gun correctly, you can actually block the sensor. And with our rules, it's like you're not supposed to block sensors.
Yeah.
So, as much as someone says, "Oh yeah, but there's a sensor on the gun," I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not the same."
Yeah.
Like you can still block the sensor with your hand, and most people do it.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of a feature of the other sites.
The funny thing is I worked out fairly quickly that when you get resupplied, you basically you still get a bit of downtime after the resupply.
Right.
So you basically have invulnerability for about I think it's like six seconds or something once you get the resupply. So if if you're quick, you can actually get resupplied, almost make it to the other base without because there's a straight they've got this open area in the thing. It's kind of like the main corridor, and it's just kind of like a road, so you can just run straight down it and almost get to the other base in the resupply time. So so I was basically running back, just like getting resupplied and then just sprinting, trying to make it all the way to the other end, without with my invulnerability basically, and then just trying, because all you have to do is shoot the other base once. But it was just too many players. Yeah, it's too many players for what we were playing. It was an interesting game mode, but I thought it would be kind of cool to play with obviously some other players that were playing show a shoulder rule.
Fan, I reckon by the sounds of it, that game would be awesome in the Syracuse arena.
Potentially.
Yeah, given the kind of layout.
They actually just made some changes in the Syracuse layout too. Doesn't impact the bases, but it impacts the resupply spots.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think the only thing they need is you need a resupplier at the base. So they've got next to each base they've got it's like a pack. It's just another pack with apparently there's just one piece that you have to put into the pack to make it shoot you basically.
Right.
So all it does is shoot you and resupply you. Right. When you're back in the base.
So was this this site Gen 7 or Gen 8?
It was a Gen 7 site. But they've got a lot of suits.
I'm wondering if that game on Gen 8, I'm wondering if the bases can actually resupply you without having to have the extra hardware, because there's always cases where as the generations improve, you have to do less messing with the packs to get them to do other things or to make other things happen, like in Auckland when we did 4-team CTF those couple of times that we did it and at that point we had Gen 5. We had to go in and switch dip switches on the CPUs or the logic boards, switch those devices and say, oh hey, you're a flag now instead of something else, whereas just being able to do it within the software. I'm wondering if on Gen 8 that's all stuff that just get done straight in software. it's probably a question for me to ask Sanch when I'm in Syracuse, because that sounds like one of the game modes that got added with the most recent software.
And like it's almost like it sounds like a paintball kind of style game, right? Like that's a game they play in paintball where you get shot once, you have to walk to the back, and then respawn.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be really fun, and I think it's a good warm up game. And so basically, you only score points by hitting the base on the other side. So everyone, if you don't hit the base on the other side, you walk out with 0.
Yeah.
So we played for 30 minutes and no one scored a point. So it's kind of funny. You play for 30 minutes, no one scores a point, everyone walks out with 0. You're kind of like, what was the point in that?
So it's like soccer then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it'd be a good game for like a warm-up game, kind of like how we used to do a capture the flag at the start of the night as a warm-up. It would be a good change to that. I don't know. It depends on the arena, obviously, if it will work, or you might have to adjust that invulnerability time in the Auckland one.
Yeah.
Because 6 seconds I could get from green to red, not a problem.
Yeah, exactly right. Maybe had no downtime. You come up, or have your maybe your live resupply offset from where your base is. So true.
Someone has to go, to the other corner or to another place, to get resupplied.
Yeah.
Because then it does end up so crazy around the base.
So with going back to the guys who were at the tournament, because having a look at some of the scores, I recognize a couple of the code names. But do you know if any of them are coming to any of the upcoming tournaments? So either
yes.
ECT or...
So I think a couple of the girls are going. So code names Smalley McSmall and Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
And then there was, I think, Marcus Z. German is, and he's El Diablo. I think he's going to ECT as well. So
he's put in a really good shift this year with showing up at tournaments. I mean, because he was part of the German team that came to West Coast a few months ago, and then he's doing this, and now he's coming to East Coast. It's pretty good. I told him he should make it all the way down to Auckland if he really wants a big one.
Also, he did message me actually, and said that he is coming. So look, hopefully he does come, because it'd be really cool to meet the cat. But yeah, like if he'd be probably the first player to play that many tournaments, like in as many regions, I suppose. He would certainly be. I mean, if we're gonna count it in a rolling 12-month period, he would be the first player to play tournaments in 4 different countries in a rolling 12-month period. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
At least that I'm aware of. So we will leave that open to me being wrong. But if he and the other thing with that is that not only was he planning to do Auckland, he was thinking well, if I'm going to go on that way, I may hit the Australian titles afterward.
Oh, right, it's around the same time, right?
Yeah, they're scheduling that like the week after or something.
Right.
But so if he manages that, that would be 5 tournaments in 5 different countries, or five traveling tournaments, let's say, because I know that they do some intersite stuff in Germany between a bunch of the sites.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would definitely be the person who would hold the current record for most traveling tournaments in a 12-month period in multiple different countries. That would be pretty cool.
Hopefully you can manage to convince a couple of the other boys to come down as well. Boys or girls. yeah, it'd be cool to see them at a proper international tournament, and then with them there, it would be a proper international tournament. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, this sort of talking about this tournament coming up, we're at about I think 10 confirmed teams worth of players so far. So, our max kind of capacity we were talking about was at 12. So, yeah, hopefully we can kind of hit that. 10's a good amount of teams, so yeah, it means that we're comfortable without, pushing. But if we get 12, that'd be awesome.
12 starts getting into a lot of interesting schedule fuckery.
Well, if we do get there, I wanna put in the next couple of weeks. Keep an eye out on the tournament page on Facebook, because we'll put out a roll call of people that are very much considering coming, if not already bought their plane tickets. So keep an eye out for that post, because we'll start sort of locking in some confirmed numbers. But yeah, so like, Sai, was there anything else you wanted to touch on about this tournament?
Yeah, so as I kind of said to the players that are traveling, because obviously they play Space Marines at their site, but they're still relatively new to it. And then, as I was kind of saying to them, I said I'm just one player here. Imagine an arena full of people like me. So I said I'm a good player, but there's players that are a lot better than I am, or that play every week as well. So expect to run into maybe 10 of me. When you do go play at one of these tournaments. And I said anyone that's starting off new, I said, don't be disheartened if you turn up to one of our tournaments and you end up getting 0 pointed. It kind of happens to everyone.
Yeah. Sort of a rite of passage, right?
Everyone's been to a tournament where they've gone expected to do better than they have, and ended up coming out with 0 points. It's not the end of the world. Every bit's a bit of a lot. Yeah,
really do.
Everything's a bit of a learning experience. So as I said to the girls that are traveling, and to Marcus, I said, obviously it's a bit of a different tournament to a nationals or whatever, where you've got set teams, and there's always going to be one team which is the home team, or a team from Brisbane or something, which is just going to smash you, because it's going to be random. It's you might not get 0 pointed, or you might end up getting 0 pointed because you end up having the worst luck against certain teams or whatever. So don't go there and expect to win. But if you do win, then so be it. But go there and enjoy it. Learn as much as you can from the people. And yeah, everyone likes playing. Like we all like playing Space Marines, and that's what we put our time and effort into. So obviously we're going to be a lot better at playing Space Marines, but you might beat us on another system that you play, because you put your time and effort into that. So, I think there's one guy there. His name's Seatree. So he's Scottish, and but he's basically just a laser tag enthusiast. He'll play any kind of laser tag, and he came up to me on the second day. I think I was playing heavy, and he was playing commander or heavy for his team, I think. So basically on the second day, I was like, I'll just play ammo, because it's unfair if I play a 3-hit. So I played ammo for most of the day, and then they put in the first game we played against them, they put their 3 hits as their strongest players, and then I think we lost or something, so I said, all right, I'll play heavy for this one. So I played heavy for the second game back, and then I think we absolutely smashed them.
Yeah.
And like after the game, he came to me, he was like, "You're really good at this game." I said, "Yeah, it's because that's all that I play. This is the only game that I play." But he's just he's good at laser tag. Doesn't matter what laser tag he's playing. Like, he's very quick and he's accurate. And I think so I changed it up the second day. So I split everyone into teams of three, tried to pair them all off or match them all equally, and then because there was only 12 of us on the second day, and then I swapped them around. So you'd play attacking positions and then defensive positions, and then swap the teams. So everyone got to kind of play everything, and rotated it all around. And I think in the second day it was a lot more fun because all the games were a lot closer. Everyone got to play every position, so and you know the teams weren't mismatched at all.
Yeah.
And so everyone learnt a lot more on the second day than they did on the first day.
Simon, I am so glad that you paid attention when you were at members' nights at Auckland so many years ago. Like literally hearing you say that like just brings a tear to my eye. It's like, yes, people actually paid attention to some of the things that we used to do back then. Fantastic.
It was like good for the health of the game.
Yeah, so
Yes,
because
sir.
it's just unfair. It's just unfair if I played heavy for the 2 days, because I mean you know as well as anyone, I'm the most attacking heavy that you can get. Like I almost don't even like playing defensively.
Yeah.
So
You
as
really
soon as someone comes back and says, yeah, you can go now, I'm like,
Peace. Yeah.
yeah, peace out. Time to go wreck their resupply. So as soon as basically for the first maybe minute of the game, I didn't really see anyone or kept everyone out, not a problem. It got full, and then as soon as my commander came back, I was just like gone,
Yeah.
and just absolutely wrecked their resupply. And I think I came out with a score of maybe like 7 or 8k, but they got they got eliminated in no time.
Yeah.
I was like, as fun as that is for me to smash everyone, it's not fun for everyone else that's playing. So,
Yeah.
so
Plus it's not challenging,
I'd rather
right?
really close. Yeah, I'd rather a close game where everyone gets a chance to play. I'm actually having to work a bit harder than just walking in and just destroying a resupply
Yeah.
as the 3 hit. If I'm playing ammo or if I'm playing scout or something like that, then I have to work a little bit harder to get into the resupply. So yeah, the second day was a little bit more fun because teams were a lot more fair, and I think everyone won some games, lost some games on the second day. Everyone really enjoyed playing the rotation, because I kind of, after the first day, I took the stats and sat down with the people that know the players the best, and we kind of said this person's this person, this person to this person, matched everyone as best as we could. Because we did have a very mixed skill level.
Yeah.
But yes, we tried to match them the best that we could, and it worked out a lot better on the second day, I think.
It's a really good template as well for anyone looking to grow their local scene, is to kind of keep this stuff in mind, because you're right, like it's not fun for the person who gets their ass whipped like every single game. And there's been times, I know that there's been times in Auckland where that's happened, and I'm sure it's happened at other sites where the regulars have their preferred positions that they want to play, which is usually a 3-hit, and they go out and they completely smash the newer players, and the newer players are just like, why would I keep coming back to this sucks. So
yeah, if you don't get a chance to learn, then it's not fun.
yeah.
I think the first members night that I turned up to in Auckland, I think I was thrown in there and I was playing scout. They threw me in as a scout or whatever, and I think Nightmare was our heavy, and I think our resupply was in the corner or something.
Yeah.
And I turned up and I said, I need lives in these shots, and he said to me, he's like, you don't just ask for it, you fucking yell for it. And I was like, what? And he's like, you gotta yell it from the top of your lungs. I was like, lives and shots. But like, that was me, someone teaching me. He's like, I think my getting thrown in there when I first started playing was way different to how like I would treat a new player now, because those guys didn't give you any respect if you're a new player. You kind of had to earn it.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
but,
has
like,
its benefits.
I know.
But
I know, I know. As a newer player, I would much prefer to be, like, hey, this is learn as much as I can from this person. If I ask, I always help any new player. I'll say, this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. If anyone wants to ask me a question, I'll always give them my advice on the situation,
yeah,
to try and help them out. Like, because everyone remembers being a new player and not doing so well. I think, like, for the first year, I kind of ended up playing on the B team against the Auckland A team while you guys were training for Ballarat.
yeah,
So I spent basically the first 6 months losing every game, but by the end of the 6 months, we started, like, I started getting 10k scores lasting till the end of the game.
yeah,
Like, we weren't getting eliminated by the end of it. So I think I learned through trial by fire by having to play against Virus and you. So um, it wasn't easy for me to learn, but that every player is different. Some people learn gradually over time. Some people can pick it up and start playing tomorrow. So
yeah. And just trying to find the right conditions to kind of grow those players, because it takes a special kind of unhinged person to kind of be okay with I'll say abuse, for lack of a better word, and still want to keep
laser
coming.
tag abuse.
Yeah, and still want to keep coming back and, like, putting up with that to kind of, and still love the game. So
I mean, the other thing for me is, obviously, if I don't have a site in Sydney, so I'm more aware of trying to help newer players because I want newer players so that I can play.
Yeah.
It's probably selfish, but I'd rather play some laser tag than no laser tag.
Synergy,
so when I go to
bro.
these,
It's synergy.
yeah, when I go to any laser tag arena here, like, obviously I'll play, but then there'll be parts of me where I go, if a newer player is, I see that they're not having as much fun because they keep getting shot, like, I'll avoid that player, or I'll play easier on that player because, I don't want them to walk away and go, oh, this sucked. This was the worst thing that I ever did. I'll never come back here. That's just another player that, he was interested enough to come to, like, a members night or thing. So they liked it enough that they would come back and play it at least once.
Yeah.
So that, they need to experience some kind of form of joy or happiness, but
Joy.
Yeah, a little bit of joy, or else there's just no reason for them to come back again.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the other piece with that, it's like and I think this is something that a lot of people forget with regards to the members' nights and whatnot, when they're just in wrecking new people and not giving them the chance to learn, is that those people paid money for this experience. There's a financial commitment that this new person decided, hey, this seems like something that is entertaining enough that I want to take some of my hard-earned money and engage in capitalism and do a thing. And so when that happens, like, yeah, okay, admittedly, it can be a little annoying sometimes. Might be, it's not quite the right word, but it's the only one that's coming to mind. When as a higher level player who has also paid their money to enjoy themselves, to have to kind of take that step back and take part of the time that you've paid for to try to make somebody else's experience better. That doesn't necessarily always come naturally to people, to be able to take that step back and try to help others when they're also in the midst of, hey, I'm trying to maximize my entertainment value for this X amount of money that I've paid. But it's a big picture thing.
Yeah.
If you if you can bring this person along and can get them excited about it and can show them that, hey, yeah, okay, your first few weeks they're gonna suck because you're learning essentially a new skill set, but you're not getting completely wrecked to the point that I don't want to come and spend money again. If you can bring those players along, well, hey, in a couple months' time, okay, now you've got a player that is competent, and at that point, probably wants to start mainlining SM5, and so you can use that to foundationally try to build your player base. Like that's I think the thing that people miss with the wrecking of new players that show up to members nights.
And it's part of being a veteran player, or at least somebody that's been around for longer than a year, let's say, is understanding that part of your role is to help bring new blood into the site, because it's mutually beneficial. Like there's a lot of guys in Auckland that'll sit out of games that aren't necessarily Space Marines, and like I try and sort of preach to them that, well, look, part of your being here and you're playing all of the games you can is to help somebody else's experience at the site. So by sitting out games, or by singling out newer players during the Space Marines and putting all your missiles into them, or whatever the case might be, all of that doesn't help the longevity of your site. It doesn't help your site grow, because people don't want to really be around that as a newer player. So I would encourage people from sites that have played for a decent amount of time, and sort of relatively established in their sites, to do whatever they can to bring new blood in, and whether that's treating your players with respect, or being friendly, or being involved in all of the games that are being played, unless you're generally injured or like actually unfit and tired. But all of the stuff goes a long way to helping create an atmosphere that people want to come and hang out in. Then that's part of the reason why we all stayed, is because of the atmosphere and the centers that we were part of. Because you're right.
Definitely true.
Why would you spend your time and your money doing something that like you didn't like, or being around people that you didn't like, or whatever the case might be? But it's all really important stuff for growth.
So if you are in England or UK area, there are a number of people that are playing. So obviously, feel free to hit them up or let them know. Like Peterborough, I think. So Laser Force Peterborough, and they're one of the original Laser Forces actually. So they've been around forever. I think they play on a Monday night, but I think it's like every bi-weekly. They have a group where they kind of message everyone, and then they can play, and then sometimes they hold all-night lock-ins and stuff. So obviously hit up someone in the community if you wanted to go play with them. They play Space Marines. They actually play D&D as well, which I found out, which was kind of cool, because no one else really plays D&D.
Yeah.
Them
in Auckland.
Yeah. And then Laser Force, or I think it's called Laser Zone Huddersfield or Laser Zone Bradfield. I think they play on, I think it's a Monday. One of them holds a Monday night, and one of them holds a Tuesday night. They're very close together, so they're kind of Manchester, basically an hour outside of Manchester. An hour away from Manchester is Huddersfield, and Bradfield's like another 20-30 minutes away from the Huddersfield site. So I guess if you are in the area, feel free to get on the Facebook page and ask, and go down and give it a go.
Check out
the community's always growing.
Yeah, check out the Laser Force tournaments page on Facebook, because I believe that there's a lot of players from multiple sites on that page. That's probably the best kind of hub if you want to start playing, Laser Force on the regular, and then sort of branch out from there to the local pages. I'd say the same kind of goes for anyone in the Sydney area. If you're wanting to play,
if you wanted to play in Sydney or even in Australia, like I live in Sydney. I know of a bunch of places. I know a few people that play, so I can kind of get a group together. But we just don't have enough for Space Marines at the moment. So, I'm gonna try go down to this place which seems to be playing Space Marines again, and see what their community's like, and maybe jump in with some of their games or whatever. If my ultimate goal, if I could, was to get a Sydney team to a tournament, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
If I could somehow, but
you got 6 months
finding those players. I got 6 months. Yes. Well, that's the other thing is this tournament I don't know. One, I don't know who I'm going to play for if I do come. Two, I don't know if I can make it because I'm actually having a baby.
Congrats, man.
The baby's due a month before, so I
Ooh,
don't
yeah, that
know if I'll be able to make it.
That might be pushing it from the wrong end.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the wife will get on board with that one.
Yeah, no. In the interest of you not getting murdered, this year may not be the best attempt.
But I'd be very sad if I missed the tournament because I'd love to play in Auckland.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but again, yeah,
we'll find a spot for you, bro, if you're around.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of teams that would happily chuck me on it.
I did hear from Night Owl yesterday being like, "Oh, do you know if Leech is available?" I was like, "Hey."
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be kind of interesting to play with the Melbourne guys because as much as I am an Auckland, I'll always be an Auckland player.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of interesting to play with a bunch of different people.
Yeah. I love playing with them.
I guess if I don't play on an Auckland team, then I think the next place that I would end up would be a Melbourne team because they're kind of in a similar situation to me where they don't have a site but they still want to play. So I guess that's kind of where I would end up. But who knows?
They actually played for the first time as a kind of unit.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. That was quite cool to see. And
that made me so happy.
I was like, oh man, I could go down. I always said tonight, I said, oh, if you're playing some Space Marines, if you can get a group together, then kind of let me know.
Yeah, let me know.
If you let me know far enough in advance, then like tickets to Melbourne aren't that expensive. So
well, I tell you what, I jumped on Air New Zealand yesterday and had a look because we got a long weekend next week. So I was like, I wonder how much it is to fly to Melbourne next weekend.
It's always tempting because if you don't have a site, you're like, oh, that's not too far.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too far. That's why
Christmas
I'm always
not that
like,
far away.
Yeah. Whenever I come back to Auckland, I'm always like, oh, I'll add an extra day. Like I'll fly back on the Wednesday instead of the Tuesday. Just to get that extra day.
Exactly.
And then obviously we try and organize the Sunday so I can get some extra games in.
Yeah. Play Sunday, play Tuesday.
Yeah, play Sunday, play Tuesday. I'd play like Monday as well, but I think some of the guys,
some of
the guys' fitness, some of the guys wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is I think a lot of their fitness, they'd be like, if they play Sunday and they play Tuesday, by the end of Tuesday, like everyone looks dead,
Everyone's
and I'm like,
crippled.
man, I'm ready to go. Like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. After a 3-hour session, everyone's hobbling out of the place, and I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys?
You should
Come on.
you should see the everyone.
See, I
at
don't
the
even get
moment.
to play regularly.
At the moment, like we play 3 games, and people are like, I need to have a rest.
Twice.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a bit of a commitment if you are playing very, very competitively.
Absolutely.
You end up running so much.
Then
You do have to put you do have to put some time into getting fit to play.
Yeah, I hope your fitness is up to snuff then for ECT.
So I'm playing on a team with Baden, because
he's looking good too.
Yeah, no, and so that's been like in our team group chat for that. It's been like he's been like, you guys all better be in shape, and then it's like, yeah, okay, Baden, it's fine.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, like I've actually been, trying to be a little more health conscious since that whole I am old.
50?
Eat a dick. Nah, I'll be 41 in April.
Oh, that's still young.
So
ish.
yeah.
Age is just a number.
Yeah, bro.
Well,
age is just a number.
It's a number that my knees and back remind me of constantly.
Yeah, your number's just slightly higher than ours.
Yeah, that's right.
Just slightly. It's only a few.
Yeah, only a couple, one or two. So look, I would probably leave it there. Yeah, like it's been pretty cool. Is it like I'm super stoked that you got to play like a UK tournament because not many people from down this way have played in Europe. So yeah, it's pretty.
Well,
dope
that was the one thing I went and jumped on that I Play Laser Force website and people who've played the most games, and I looked down at people that have played the most games. I said, I know that person, I know that person, I know that person, I know, and like I pretty much know the majority of the players on that list now.
Yeah.
And I'd say I'm the only one that's kind of met everyone on that list.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Rusty's met a few of the peeps. I'm not sure if he's met any of the British players. Certainly the Germans.
I thought it was quite cool to go down and go, oh, I know who that person is, I know who that person is. So some of the people that have played the most Laser Force games ever, I know most of them. Obviously, Trev is a Auckland oldie who's played a ridiculous number of games. And not many people have met Trev unless you obviously go to Auckland.
Yeah. But he's played.
'cause I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure
he's
he
played
played Peterborough.
Did he?
I think so.
Maybe
I'm
he
pretty
did.
sure
Yeah,
maybe he did.
He's basically every time he travels to Europe, he ends up playing more sites. Because it's what he does, and you know what? Good on him.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, but thanks for coming on, Leech, and sort of giving us a bit of a recap because we at this stage pretty sort of sealed off from that side of the world, but hopefully over the next coming year that kind of changes a wee bit and people kind of get to know the Australasian and the North American scenes get to kind of know the European scenes a little bit. But yeah, thanks for being our foreign correspondent.
Thanks for having me. But yeah, I hope that it grows because I think like the community can easily grow. There's enough players that play out there, so fingers crossed they come to ECT and they love it and they go, oh man, I want to build this back up in the UK. So hopefully someone catches the bug.
I'm sure they will.
And and then it
sounds like Marcus has.
Yeah, Marcus has definitely got the bug.
Yeah.
He's dedicated.
He just needs to spread that shit around.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, well we'll leave it there for this week. But for this week, I have been Guy Next Door,
and I've been Than.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. Hopefully, we see you next week.